Sometimes it's challenging because when we want to have a couple time, right? We are working about work, and so we need to be focused. Okay, this is not work time, so let's talk about different things. And this is challenging. It's an everyday challenge with the kids. We have two boys. When we are, let's say, on the table and we are talking, and the words shows up, and come on, are you guys talking about work again? And
Uh,
that's the toughest part for working together.
Welcome to the Onsite Podcast. We chat with contractors, educators, industry professionals about the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. So without further ado, let's fucking get into it.
What's up? What's up? We are back, episode 24, and today we have a couple of people that are a part of our community. Super excited to have Antonio and Sophia here today. Antonio is with Americas and Sophia is with In Color. They are both out of Calgary. They are married and they are working together. Thank you so much, the two of you, for being here today. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Hi,
No,
thank you for having me.
Yeah. Hey, let's dive into this a little bit. So you guys are a partner, a duo, and you're working on projects which probably brings all kinds of different dynamics, good, bad, ugly, and everything in between, just like the podcast is. But Antonio, I want to hear from you about maybe some of the projects that you guys are currently working on right now.
Well, we have actually three projects. We have a full gut in Southeast Calgary, and this is a partnership with a design build company. We have a second project that is starting next week, a couple bathrooms in an apartment. These are going to be small changes for these bathrooms, but it's going to change 100% how the client is going to live these spaces. And the third project is full gut for an apartment. This is in a condo here in Gauche Road. This is not that is northwest, and that one is starting on November the 6th.
Nice. So you got a couple of great projects going on. Calgary is a beautiful city. You know, I'm fortunate to be here a majority of my time as well, and I really love this place, and I can't wait to make it my home full time soon. Sophia, you've been a designer for how long? How long have you been a designer for?
So actually, October 20th, it was the 19th anniversary.
No way, 19 years.
Yeah. So
That's
that will
incredible.
reveal a little bit of my age, but that's okay.
Well, the 19 years of design is a long time in the industry. And honestly, when we were working together, for some context, everyone that's listening, I went and helped Sophia and Antonio work their trade show, which was exciting because I love working the trade shows. We had a lot of fun. I was only there one day. They had to do the setup, the tear down, and every other day, and it was exciting. But when I was there and they were talking to clients, the two of these individuals were just incredible. The way they would speak to clients about their projects and share the passion. And so, Sophia, when you tell me you've been in the industry for 19 years, it kind of explains a lot, because when you were talking to people, they really resonated with, your ability to listen to them. I think that's what a designer really has to focus on is being able to listen to the client, and then the contractor, Antonio, has to be capable of putting together what the designer creates. And I think that it really came through with the way you discussed projects, with clients at our potential clients at the trade show. And so, that's awesome. So 19 years in design. What is one of your favorite projects that you got to be a part of?
It's a tough one. Yeah. I think in my whole career, I had a lot of exciting projects. I would say probably the highlight, maybe focusing on this year, has been working for a commercial developer. That's been a highlight for me, and it's been very exciting. It's been a year and a half working on that project, coming up with all the interior design of the common spaces, the amenity spaces, and the apartment units. And we're coming to an end. Hopefully we will be finishing this project in December. And then the exciting part is seeing it all come together with all the furniture. So I've been working on the furniture procurement, which is a long process as well. So that's going to be exciting.
That sounds like a big project. What's the square footage of that project? It's apartments, so it's a large build.
The rental units, but my main focus was on the amenity spaces. They have two amenity spaces, a boardroom, gym. It's a really cool project on 16 Ave. And
cool. Okay.
I'll be really excited to see.
That's not far. That's not far from me where I am right now. I'll have to pop in and take a look at that. That's exciting.
Yeah.
It's an awesome project, and the fact that the two of you get to work together, I think, is what I found really interesting and unique. And the fact that you're both in the same kind of industry. And so, where most people get to deal with their shit that they have to deal with on site, day to day, and then they come home and vent about their problems. Your guys' problems may be in the same bowl at times. They may be very similar. And so work probably just feels like sometimes it never ends for both of you because you're kind of both stuck in the same industry. It's like you wake up at whatever time in the morning, you go to work all day, you potentially work together or you work on other projects, and then you come home and you continue kind of working or conversing and doing that. Do you find that is tiring at times, or do you think that it's fuel for both of you because you love what you're doing? Antonio, you can go first.
Well, we definitely love what we do. We have done this since 2006, 2005, actually. We started working together a year before we graduated from school. And since then, we have been working in different type of projects. And yes, it's exciting to have this partnership and also this fit between us when we work together. I can say it's the topic of the experience for us as a couple is working together and having everyday challenges. And
I think it
if that
brings you
responds
closer
to your
together.
question, was that?
Yeah. Do you think it brings you closer together because you guys both really love what you're doing?
Oh yeah, definitely. Sometimes it's challenging because when we want to have a couple time, right? We are working about work, and so we need to be focused. Okay, this is not work time, so let's talk about different things. And this is challenging. It's an everyday challenge with the kids. We have two boys. When we are, let's say, on the table and we are talking, and the words shows up, and come on, are you guys talking about work again? And that's the toughest part for working together.
Yeah, separating. I mean, obviously, separating work and date night is probably also top priority. Finding a way to not talk about work all the time. But when you love what you do, it's tough. When the passion's there, it doesn't turn off, and I think that's okay. I think it's okay that it's there, and I find it funny that your kids kind of call you out on that stuff too, because I talk about work all the time. I love what I do, and so I talk about it all the time, and my kids are always like, dude, that's enough. Like, we're good. I think we can take the afternoon off on talking about work stuff. The fact that you guys are both in the same kind of pool of industries, and I'm sure it creates a lot of opportunity to speak more about work. And I think that maybe it's helping both of you grow your businesses, because if you just went to work and you only worked 8 hours, you'd only produce 8 hours of excellence every day. If you start your morning with a couple hours of excellence and you work all day and then you continue in the evening, and so maybe you guys can thank each other for that, because that might be part of your success and your growth that you're experiencing, because you guys spend a little bit of time talking about business or work or whatever's going on. So that's awesome. So you said you had two boys. Who wants to tell us about? I don't want to ask who has a favorite, but tell us about your kids. Whoever wants to pipe up about your two boys. Who are they? How old are they? And what are they going to be in construction as there?
We don't have a favorite. That's for sure. We don't have a
you're
favorite.
not allowed.
They're both our favorites.
There you go.
Yeah. So Santiago is 21. Matthias is 15.
Okay.
I don't know. Probably Matthias, who is the youngest, might be in the same industry. Santiago has been involved in some of our projects, helping here and there, but I don't think he has an interest per se in construction. But Matthias has mentioned that he would like to be an architect like his dad. So yeah, that's something that I think it's a possibility there. And he's been actually helping in some projects, jumping on demolition. So he's very good at it too. So
that's cool.
I don't know if you want to add anything, Antonio.
Yeah, Antonio, you want to tell us anything about your two boys?
No, I really love them, and I think they are very talented, and they learn so fast, and that's the good thing, that having them. If I need them for any project, or if I need them to jump in the company, I'm pretty sure they will do an excellent job. When they are focused, they learn so fast. That's the beautiful thing about, in our case, to having these two boys, that they can help us. They know our philosophy of life. I can say that this is the first thing that brought us here to work in construction, is be very ethical in our job. And they have seen all the steps in our company, so they know the real value for our company. I think they can take the company after us. I'm pretty sure about that. I'm very proud of both of them.
Yeah, I mean, they're seeing the dynamic of you guys working together, talking after work, and all that kind of stuff. And if it is for them, they'll jump into it. My son, oddly, he leaned into, welding in, when was it? Like not even that long ago. And he didn't know what he wanted to do 12 months prior to that. He just one day he was like, yeah, that's what I want to do. And then leaned right into it. And that's just sometimes how it works out. They figure out what they want to do in the weirdest ways. But, it's important for us to support them, I think. And you guys are kind of like the same mindset. So I want to dive into the company, Americas. And so when I was at the trade show, everyone was like, oh, you're an American company, and I think we can maybe provide some explanations around what the name is and what it stands for, because when you explained it at the trade show, it really made sense to me, and I love the vision behind what you're doing. You moved to Calgary at some point. I want to hear about that, but tell us a little bit about where the name originated and how long have you lived in Calgary?
All right, Americas, the name came from this started years ago as an idea for a fleet company between North America and South America. And the name, well, for us was the connection between South America and North America. I don't know if you guys know, but we are from Venezuela. This is a country in South America. And now we are living in North America. So for us, America is that connection. This is how we connect South America with North America. Yes, we had a lot of people saying that, oh, but you're Americans, and you're Americans, and you're Americans. And the truth behind the name is that for us, the connection between our home, or what we call home, because now we really feel that Canada is our new home, right? So it's that connection. The Americas is the connection between South America and North America.
And you're from Venezuela, so you guys moved here together. Or what was the dynamic? Like, when did you come to Canada and land in Calgary? Tell us about that story.
That's a tough story, funny and dramatic, and we have all the the feelings for that story, and it's a very long story. Making that story short, in 2013 we started to see how the country was sinking by itself. So we decided, you know what, I need to do something. We had our own business there. We had a architectural firm, we had our construction company, and also we had a restaurant. And we decided
the two of you had that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so in 2013, we thought, you know what, this country is sinking. We need to do something for us. And for me, it was a personal challenge. I didn't know any English in 2013. I asked Sophia, you know what, I think I need something for me. And I need to speak English. For me, it was like a very basic thing for life, for business, for everything. And she supported me. And we made that decision in 2013. I moved to Calgary first in November 2013. And the things were worse and worse and worse in Venezuela. And in 2014, we decided Sophia and the kids to come to Canada. So they were here like 5 or 6 months after me. I don't know, Sophia, if you want to add something. Were I missing something? There's too many things that I'm missing. But
no, it's I don't know what it's like to move from one country to another. I don't know what that's like, but I do know how hard it is to move your entire business into a place where you're not known, where nobody knows who you are. Now you have to try to make a name for yourself. And the cool part about Calgary that I love is that this is an entrepreneurial, spirited town or city, and they open their arms to you. They opened your arms to your creativity, to your uniqueness. And so, I'm sure that you felt that when you came here, but I'm sure it was still a lot of unfamiliar territories, especially coming from a completely different country. Dustin, one of the other contractors in the community, he's been on the podcast before as well. He moved his entire family from Ontario to Red Deer, which is not that far from Calgary as well. And I was there with him throughout that entire process, right from, the first day that he decided that he was going to leave Ontario to landing in Red Deer and then trying to get work. And so I'm familiar with how challenging that would have been, and so I commend you that you guys did it with your entire family and moved across the country because you wanted to give your family a better life. And so I commend you for taking that risk, because it probably felt crazy at the time, but also like it was needed to be done. So that's awesome. And I think you probably picked one of the best places in Canada to land.
Agreed.
So who picked Calgary? Who picked Calgary when you were like, "Hey, we're gonna move to Canada"?
Well, that's another story. I was looking for English schools, and so I just say hello to a friend in Facebook, and I ask him, "Hey, where are you guys living?" And he says, "Calgary." What the hell is
Where is
Calgary? Well, Calgary is is a city here in Canada, in Alberta. Okay, I have no idea what you're talking about. So he sent me the location, and I started looking Calgary. Oh, that looks nice. Oh, I can see that you have Rockies very close to you, and so we started chatting. And he asked me, "Why are you asking me about Calgary?" Well, the thing is, I have a plan to study English in Canada, but I don't know. The only place that I know is Toronto and Vancouver. He said, "No, you know what? You need to come to Calgary because Calgary is cheaper. It's a huge town. It's a beautiful place. A lot of people come here just for holidays. So he sold me Calgary, and that's why I started looking for schools, English schools here in Calgary. So everything started there.
No, that's great. Everything
the other
happening. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that the other thing that we really liked is the fact that it's very similar to where we come from. So we come from a town in the mountains in the Andes, and
Okay.
so we thought, oh, Calgary seems like similar. Of course, a lot bigger, but
Same, but different.
yeah, and we also heard that it's very good place to raise kids, and so we thought this is the perfect place. So, and
Well,
we
yeah, I
agree.
agree. I agree. I think if you had Vancouver is nice in its own little way. Toronto is unique in its own little way. Right now, it's if you were trying to build a construction company there, it's like a war zone right now, unfortunately. But I think you picked a great place. Calgary is a beautiful place. You got the mountains, you've got beautiful lakes, you've got literally everything surrounding.
Mhm.
And the one time we were able to connect, you guys shared with me. We went out for lunch that one time. Went to that little Italian sandwich place in Calgary. Never been to, by the way. Haven't been back, but I'd love to go back. I actually just try to figure out where it is. But one of the things that I noticed about Calgary was just like the amount of incredible places there are to eat. There's so many. Like
Mhm.
I feel like you could eat all day, every day,
Yeah.
and have and just an incredible meal. I know the two of you are foodies too. You could try to get some date nights and go out for some places to eat. So if we're out here promoting Calgary, we might as well continue to promote just a little bit more about some of the delicious restaurants. So I know you guys have some special spots that you really love in Calgary. What are maybe a couple of, Antonio, your favorite restaurants, and then Sophia, your favorite restaurants?
Right now, my favorite restaurant is a Peruvian restaurant that they just opened it like a couple months ago. Sophia, what is the name? I forgot the name for this restaurant.
It's on 17 Ave. We'll probably just have to send the link so that people
Okay.
can see. We've been there a couple times, but the food is really amazing.
It's on
It's
17th.
on
I can just walk there. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's on 17, right, but beside the McDonald's, so it's easy to find. It's
Right by the
it's
McDonald's. There's that place with the gorilla right by the McDonald's where you can like cook your own.
Yeah, so if you were driving towards 14th Street,
Mhm.
then right in the corner, right, Antonio?
Yeah, it's the second retail from the corner.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll have to find that. You guys will have to message me that. But outside of that place, there are lots of little different spots that you enjoy in Calgary. What would be a couple other ones?
Yeah, the best pizza here, pizza culture. I think that's if you like pizza, that's a delicious place to eat pizza.
Mhm.
And the third is this sushi restaurant on the 12th, Sofia, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
And I forgot the name for that restaurant as well.
Aoi, AOI, Aoi Sushi.
Yeah,
I
I've been there.
discovered that with a friend. She works on downtown, and she took me to that little place. It's just amazing. It's like the best sushi in town, I think.
Yeah, I've been there. It's so good. So good. See, you don't even have to go to Vancouver for great sushi. You can just come right to Calgary. I've learned that Calgary has some of some of the best food cultures in Canada, and it's growing. They're just down from where I'm staying. There's a market. They have really good Indian food and lots of other great delicious food. Pasta, cacio e pepe. I just like to say that word.
It's fun.
Anyway, yeah, no, it's awesome. It's a beautiful place. So Last time we connected face to face, we were at the trade show, which is a great experience. Thank you for trusting me to be in your booth with you and, represent your business. That was a great time together. That was your first trade show.
Yeah.
I think you guys did great, by the way. So you got lots of good leads out of the show. You're pursuing still some of those leads. So that's awesome. Did you secure any projects from that show just yet, or are you still processing some of those opportunities?
Still processing some of those. We have a few meetings this week. And we're hoping to close those. Clients seem to be very excited about it. And
Awesome. Well, that's great. That's exciting to hear. So at the trade show, because it was your first one, what was your thought process going into the, obviously we're trying to get leads, we're trying to get work, but you had to create your own booth. You had to, you're making brochures, you're trying to do all this stuff. What was the feeling like, I guess? This might be a bit of a random question, but like, for people that are like considering going in a trade show, because I believe that a trade show is, a critical part to any construction business. There's a point in your business where you need to acquire more leads, and there are people walking around in this building that are generally looking for people. And so never going to a trade show, what was the kind of the thought process going into it, on how you had to position your business, just making sure that you could kind of paint that picture. I don't know who wants to kind of lean into, the trade show thought, because I know, Antonio, you were very excited about it, sending me pictures, we're running through brochures and different things like that. But what was being in that trade show for you? What did it feel like for you setting up to get ready to go?
Personally, my goal for the trade show was putting our name out there. That was the main reason why we participated. Actually, I wasn't expecting leads or projects from that show. For us was like, okay, let's see how this goes. And it was a great opportunity, first because we had to change our branding for our company. The legal name is America's Business Group, so the people couldn't relate the name for a construction company. So we had to go with a trade name as America's General Contracting. So that was the first step for the show, was rebrand the whole company. And after that, we started like seeing the colors, how can we use the colors, and how can we represent, how can we highlight our small booth, because we had the smallest booth in that show. That was our focus. How can we spot on for our branding? And after that was actually great that we started to see that that worked. In terms of having new leads and having you there, the experience with other participants. We had a lot of contacts with different trades, suppliers. So it was a great experience. That's what I can say from my point of view.
I think for your first time going to a trade show, I think you guys did really good. I really liked the dynamic. I've worked a lot of trade shows, if I'm being completely honest, and I've never worked at one where the husband and wife was a design build combo. In comparison to your competitors that were at the trade show, none of them had that upper hand, really. And the way you guys kind of, leaned into each other as the client came into the space to talk about their project and their opportunity, Sophia would give them that reassurance that they could have whatever they're looking to do. And then Antonio would give them the reassurance that we would, take pride in the work. And so I think that, as you progress into more trade shows, you'll notice that dynamic is really powerful, and your competitors that are at the show don't have that. And I think that will win over a lot of people. It's not in this industry, obviously we want to get sales, we want to do business, we want to work with great clients, but I think you can attract more people by just being able to deliver another level that most cannot. Most people cannot deliver what you can do. We were, I'm not going to say the company, but there was a company down the way that was, promoting things that were just completely unreasonable. You wonder, what is the thought process behind like putting something out there that is impossible? What's the rationale? A lot of contractors, and I know you guys aren't like this, but a lot of contractors, when they're pricing their projects, they'll come in low and then they'll throw a bunch of change orders at the wall. And I feel like, you guys held your integrity at the show and showcased value through the design build combo. And I think it overshadowed a lot of companies that were trying to come in there with smoke and mirrors type of marketing. And I'm glad you didn't take that approach, where we're trying to like sell some fake shit, so to speak, and then hit them with a bunch of extras. And you'll attract the right people too, because smart people see through that stuff. You know what I mean? Like smart people see through that. And being your first trade show, you see those types of things at the show and you get concerned. Obviously, you're just like, well, can we compete in this market? When we provide this level of quality, this level of service, and these other guys are doing things for nickels. Can we compete in it? And I'm glad that you guys have some opportunities that you're pursuing, and I think you guys have a special product. So I want to talk about some of the dynamics. What do you think some of the benefits are, like, for you guys from your perspective, that you guys get to work together? Sophia, you help with the designs. Antonio, you're also architectural technologist, I believe, too. So you guys both have that in your both have that in your blood. But like, what do you think some of the real benefits are for a client that's looking to do a larger project by working with the two of you? Whoever wants to kind of lean into that.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that we notice that there's a lot of disconnection when it comes to the design process and the actual construction or the execution of that design. And so what we can bring to the table is that constant communication between, in this case, the designer, who is myself, and Antonio, the contractor, who will execute that design, right? And so the client can rest assured that everything that we design, from the floor plans all the way to the material selections, all the different finishes, it's gonna materialize in the way that they had envisioned. So whatever they had agreed in the beginning is what they're gonna see to fruition, if that makes sense, right? So there's that constant communication between us and the client, and that I think that's really important. And then the other thing that we also wanted to highlight in the home show is that, or in the trade show, was that it's very important for the client to understand the process, because at the end of the day, we're creating a relationship of trust, and we have to be very honest and tell the client what the times are for the design concept, the design development, all the way to the actual construction, and then the final phase, which is the finishes. And we want to make sure that the client understand that process, and we're very clear about it. So I think that's there's value there for the client.
Yeah, well, and I completely agree. I think that any client that has the ability to work with a design build contractor, but even more so a couple that is a design build contractor, I think brings just another level of security that you're in good hands, because like, you guys have to work together, but you also have to live together, and you also have to eat dinner together. You have to raise your children together. And, when a client is putting their trust in their contractor or their designer, there is this like underlying concern about, do they both have my best interests at heart? I believe that exists with the client for the GC or the designer. I think there's this unique dynamic that they maybe over favor one or the other. But the cool part is you guys both obviously have to have the client's interest at heart. And I think that, just watching some of the body language with the clients at the trade show, the prospects at the trade show, they really were like very receptive to that. And they felt that immediately, where they could envision what this could look like. And so I think you guys need to understand, like, what you have is really special. It's unique. It's different. And, the fact that you guys can, collaborate together, live together, raise kids together, and experience this new journey in Canada together, I think is awesome. And I'm glad to be a part of it in a small little way. It's been awesome kind of working with you guys as well. I love when the two of you show up on our coaching calls. It's always, inspiring, because you both bring this other level of like learning. You want to learn. Antonio, I didn't know that you didn't know English, and you were translating into that. I think your English is pretty good, considering, that you didn't have it before. I don't think I could learn another language. It's not my strong suit. I don't think. I'm just trying to figure out my own language.
I can invite you to Venezuela. So let's see.
Yeah, let's go. I'm sure that you can tour me around. You can be my translator. You can be my translator.
No, you need to deal by yourself. I won't translate anything. You need to learn the language.
Okay. Well, you'll have to coach me on that stuff. No, is there anything else you guys want to share with us? This episode's been really good. I've learned a lot about you guys that I maybe didn't know before. Is there anything else either of you guys want to share? About anything?
Yeah, I would like to add before Sofia's comment that our integrity as well in our company is that it's not at the end that the client will receive what they saw during the design process. Is what is behind the walls as well. I work for 10 years as a contract administrator for 3 different architectural firms in different industries, commercial and residential. And that was my job, was making sure that everything was well done, properly built, and complying with the construction documents. So that's why our company, our focus is as well that everything that is built by us, the client make sure that everything is well built, complying with everything, the building code, the local bylaw, and that's what the people don't see, but what they need to make sure that everything is correctly assembled. I always bring that example that if you buy a Ferrari, you want a Ferrari in, from the interior, from the engine, for everything, because this is what what you pay for. But if you have a Ferrari and that one has a, I don't know, a crappy engine, you will how you will feel, right?
Yeah.
You can see the final product, but what is inside? This is something that we want to educate our clients, that they need to make sure that our builds are well built. We
Mhm.
focus on the assembly. We don't cut corners, and we make sure that everything that is behind the finishes is properly built.
Yeah, when a client is buying a Ferrari, they expect, I mean, I don't own a Ferrari, but I'd love to one day. But when a client, well, I would assume if I was buying a Ferrari, my expectations would be that the entire process from beginning to end oozes the same character that a Ferrari would give. And I think the two of you do give that dynamic, that you can provide that level of luxury and quality that exists within that, within a Ferrari, and I have seen some of your work, and I do see that you take that pride with everything that is inside the walls as well as what's outside of the walls, and that I think the biggest struggle that we have as contractors is that we want to produce this high level of quality, and it comes with a cost. I mean, a Ferrari is not the same price as a Malibu. You're not getting the same. And so making sure that your clients are well aware that, hey, if you're investing in high quality, you're investing in luxury, you're investing in experience, and I think that's what they get when they work with both of you, because that's what I've seen with the stuff that you've done. Even some of the projects that you've just unveiled are spectacular. So you're in a beautiful city. There's a lot of money here, and there are a lot of great clients that will love to work with you. And so I'm confident that your success will continue to grow for the two of you, and for your family as well. And, if your boys end up wanting to be a part of the business, there will be something there for sure, for them to take on. So if anybody is listening to this from Calgary, and you're wanting to work with Antonio or Sophia on your own custom project, there's a couple different places that they can find you. So Antonio, where can they find you online?
You can go to my Instagram. This is americas.gc. You can go to our website, americasgc.ca. Also in colorstudio.com, or
There we
you
go.
can just call me directly, 587-999-2110, and I will be more than happy to answer your questions, because everything started with a question. I know that for sure, but please don't be afraid to ask. That's going to be the first and biggest step that you can do.
Well, I appreciate both of you coming on today. It was a great conversation. If anybody wants to work with Antonio or Sophia, we will also have their information posted on the post as well. So appreciate both of you today. Thank you so much. Sophia, anything you want to add to this before we wrap up?
Well, I just wanted to say thank you, Brandon, for this opportunity and all your help throughout this process, because you've been coaching us as well. And it's been a learning process, and we really appreciate your time.
Absolutely. You guys are very, very, very welcome. Well, thank you so much. Episode 24, that is a wrap. And thank you so much.
All right, that concludes this episode of the Onsite Podcast. Remember, if you enjoyed this episode, please pay the tax, share the show. Guys, if you want to be a part of the Elite Builder Society, all you got to do is pay $49 a month. That's it. $49 a month. You get 20 group coaching calls every month. Okay? Go to ebsworks.com and register today. If you enjoyed the show, please pay the tax and share the show.